What's in U.S. President Biden's 73-minute State of the Union address? Criticizing high-profit oil companies and American companies that are taking advantage of consumers, President Joe Biden used his primetime speech to show support for tax-friendly policies than middle-class American citizens. President Biden on the evening of February 7, local time, delivered the State of the Union address before both houses of Congress. It was also his first congressional address since Republicans took control of the House in early January. In his 73-minute message, President Biden urged lawmakers to put aside their differences and unite for a common goal. We often hear them say that Democrats and Republicans cannot work together. But over the past 2 years, we've proven to them that the skeptics and opponents were wrong. Dear Republican friends, if we can work together in last Congress, there's no reason why we can't work together and find consensus on the things that matter important in this Congress. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican, sat behind President Biden, Democrat, during his State of the Union address. Speaker of the House, I don't want to tarnish your reputation, but I look forward to working with you, Biden said, prompting laughter. Before Mr. Biden entered the auditorium, Mr. McCarthy and Vice President Kamala Harris, Democrat, smiled at each other and chatted on the podium. Mr. McCarthy said earlier on Tuesday that he would not rip Biden's speech, alluding to the actions of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, after the former president's 2020 State of the Union address. Donald Trump, Republican. I respect the other side, McCarthy said in a video. I can disagree on policy. But I want to make sure that this country is stronger, economically healthy, energy independent, safe, and responsible. Economic problems. President Biden has praised the resilience and strength of the U.S. economy, with the unemployment rate falling to a nearly 54-year low in January. The U.S. leader said the U.S. economy is benefiting from 12 million new jobs. COVID-19 is no longer in control of American lives, and American democracy remains intact despite facing its greatest threat since the Civil War. Our democracy, though bruised, remains unyielding and unbroken. Despite his repeated calls for unity, Biden still angered some Republicans when he accused the party's congressmen of wanting to hold the economy hostage and planning to cut Social Security. Some of my Republican friends want to hold the economy hostage unless I agree with their economic plans, Biden said, referring to Republicans' insistence they would disagree. The idea is to raise the debt ceiling unless Democrats support a reduction in government spending. Instead of making the rich pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to shut down. Biden's comments were met with boos from Republicans. Despite the U.S. leader's efforts, President Biden's approval rating is still hovering at only 40%, rising 1 percentage point to 41% in the Reuters/Ipsos opinion poll ending on May 5. 2. Biden's aides see his State of the Union speech as a major milestone before he is expected to launch his re-election campaign in the coming weeks. Mr. Biden will turn 80 in November this year, and if re-elected, he will start his second term at 82, a fact that worries many Democratic voters, recent polls shows. Seemingly foreshadowing topics he could use during the presidential campaign, Mr. Biden criticized corporations profiting from the pandemic and offered a list of desired economic proposals, although many proposals are unlikely to be passed by Parliament. President Biden was particularly critical of the profits of oil companies. I think it's outrageous, he said, adding that the U.S. would need oil for at least another decade, prompting laughter from some in the audience.